It's no secret that Super Dino Charge has the worst ending in all of Power Ranger history. When I saw the ending, I generally didn't think that they would go there. And I just generally thought, why would you want to put yourself in another dimension? You know, another timeline. It just doesn't make sense. And what happens to all the Power Ranger powers that have previously happened that are dinosaur themed? Because technically, you've just wiped out a ton of Power Rangers that could have started stuff off, and you could have at least written it better. I just generally hate it. If you're kind of forgetting how Super Dino Charge ended, basically, they killed the entire planet by sucking the planet into a black hole. They then went back in time to stop the meteors hitting Earth because we found out that it was Sledge and his spaceship that had done this, that had sent the meteors and comets to Earth, hence wiping out the dinosaurs, which, okay, interesting, but you just kind of messed it up. So effectively, we don't know what other Power Rangers are in there, and it makes sense that when you watch, I think, the Beast Morphers crossover, where Tyler doesn't know who Jason is, which, you know, when they say, oh, this is the original Red Ranger, and like, Tyler's like, yeah, cool, whatever, he still kind of would remember it because they would be from the timeline that they knew of the Power Rangers. Or maybe if we take the Flash, for example, as soon as the new past sets in, all your memories get changed. So you remember that you are the Dino Charge Rangers, your memories up to so often, but you wouldn't remember, say, Mighty Morphing, Dino Thunder. Hell, you probably wouldn't even really remember Tommy. Or you would say, oh yeah, isn't he the Red Zeo Ranger, the Red Turbo Ranger? And that's it. It's so weird. Now, to me, this was absolutely pointless from a writing perspective, because it just felt, again, like I've just done a video saying like Robo Knight was completely pointless and the writing for that character, that this would be exactly the same. Like, why would you write something in like that? To me, it doesn't seem like it's clever writing, it's just lazy writing. But today we are gonna be talking about it, so let's jump into it. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Dino Charge to some degree. There are some really good episodes. I think some of the episodes drop a lot, maybe in season 2, because they don't know how to take characters, they don't know how to write characters, and they just kind of go up and down, and that is pretty much it. And it feels like you had a very strong start, and then it just drops the ball and you're like, what the hell? Now, to me, the way that I've always seen the Power Ranger history, the way that it works is that when one season finishes and the next one comes up, that's like, you know, it's yearly. So Mighty Morphing season 1, it took an entire year, season 2, the entire year, etc, etc. So when a team moves on, let's say, for example, you have like Mystic Force and it moves on to the next one, then that is an entire year and the Rangers keep the powers, or they sometimes lose it. But we know now that they can have their entire powers back due to the Morphing Masters. But effectively, each one comes after each other. The only one at the time was RPM. That didn't do it because that was set in a different universe, which again, absolutely fine. It had a very good reason why, and you could understand it because, again, it didn't mess up the entire timeline. We obviously saw that these were connected because we saw Scott come over to the Samurai universe, you know, to the main canon and the main timeline, which is, again, fine. But when you look at Dino Charge, and that would have stayed exactly the same if it hadn't been for the destruction of Earth right at the end. It's just, it's such a stupid thing to do. Like, I don't understand what the writers were doing. Was it something for shock value? Was it something that they'd be like, oh, everyone's going to like this? Or was it just yeah, we don't know how time works properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them in another universe, and not accidentally, it's forcefully. Now, you could easily have changed the ending to the point where the Rangers would have won. Like, you could have still used the Energems. The Energems could have helped defeat, say, Sledge, because he became too powerful, because he was absorbed by it, by the comets or whatever. There could have been a better storyline apart from, hey, let's go back to the beginning of time and make sure that the comets or meteors don't actually hit the Earth, causing the destruction. Because again, like, when you think about if the dinosaurs were around all the time, it possibly would have made humanity a lot harder to kind of progress, or it takes a lot longer. So hell, think about Apple. Think of it like this. If Apple was around in the Power Rangers universe, they could be on iPhone 3 by now because technology hasn't caught up and because pesky dinosaurs are running around. There could be really random things. I don't know if I'd make a video on this, but we'll think about dinosaurs anyway as we go along. You could have had things as in certain points in time that can't be kind of messed up. Think of it in Doctor Who. Like there's a scene in one of the Doctor Who episodes where Rose's dad is meant to die and a car keeps looping around all the time. And that's because a fixed point in time is happening. So even if you got rid of Sledge and then you got rid of all that, meteors would have still hit the Earth to carry on. And that's a fixed point in time because that is what's meant to happen. But when you kind of mess with time travel, like one of the biggest things to happen in Earth's history, why would you just kind of change that just for either shock value, or did the writers not know how to kind of finish their own series? It's so mind-blowing when you kind of think that they could have written anything for this and they chose not to. They just chose to go out with an easy way out. I'm thinking there could be tons of time paradoxes looking at certain things. Like, could you imagine that Coda goes home, meets his brother, but his brother doesn't recognize him because you've changed the past. It's completely different. Obviously there are going to be dinosaurs in Xandar. You've changed the past, so you've got problems with it. I just hate the fact that if you don't have a grasp on time travel rules in films, TV shows and stuff, don't put it in the show because it just messes up everything. Not unless you go back to the complete point in time and fix it. So an easy way to kind of fix this would be to have the Captain America thing. So in Endgame, where you see Captain America go to the exact points in time to correct them to make sure that they all happen so everything kind of stays normal, you could easily have that when it comes to, say, Power Rangers. So the Dino Charge Rangers are fighting Sledge and all that, so have someone on the ship. A ranger that goes back and fixes everything, sort that out. Oh, the ship will explode and everything goes down, like the meteors and comets still hit Earth, wiping out the dinosaurs, thus therefore shifting the Dino Charge Rangers back into the main timeline, but then kind of be like, oh shit, where's Sledge? And they still don't know what happened to Sledge, and have someone explain, yeah, you defeated him, he's gone, absolutely done. Boom, that's how you fix it. All of this just really annoys me when watching it. And I remember someone saying that they didn't understand how it all worked. And I figured it all out and I lost the piece of paper and I can't figure it out anymore. But I just generally hate it when it's like you force this because, again, this didn't need to be forced at all. You could have had Sledge dies or you could have Sledge being defeated. It would work perfectly, but it just irritates me a little bit. Another way that you could have fixed it is you could have done the do-over. So rather than go all the way back in time to where you meet Sledge, the dawn of the dinosaurs, you could have gone back, say, 2 hours or something, 3 hours, where you know what Sledge is doing, and you could easily have defeated it. You had the plans, you had everything going on, and then you could have just gone and done that. Hell, like you could have done the sneaky thing and gone back to the point where your old counterparts are still defeating monsters and stuff like that. And then you could have easily have collected it. Oh, Sledge is there. He's about to place the first thing to anchor in the Earth. How do you know about this, Rangers? Well, we've come back in time to fix this. And you could have easily have done that. Again, you could have easily have stopped Sledge at any point in time. And this would have been really interesting because this could have been the last 4 episodes of Dino Charge and it would have been absolutely perfect. I really wish the Morphing Masters would have stepped in and gone, nope, Earth is definitely not going now. Let's say in the timeline of Dino Charge, every other team is there. You wouldn't have Mighty Morphing. So therefore, when Beast Morphers comes along and they need help, no. Like, that entire thing's gone because Jason wouldn't have come through the portal to help out because he isn't a ranger. He's just chilling in Angel Grove, doing whatever he's doing, or going off firefighting, or doing whatever he was doing. What was Jason in Power Rangers? What did he do? Who knows? Like, he wouldn't have become the Gold Ranger because, again, the MMPR Rangers wouldn't have existed and Zeo would have probably have come along and done something completely different. There's the Dino Gems. They are literally still in space, hurtling around the universe, or still with Sledge's ship. I have no idea. And yet Sledge had that power. You could have found out about it. Dear God, when you start kind of thinking about it, all of this is kind of messed up. maybe there weren't any Power Rangers. Maybe it was just Dino Charge and they're the only Rangers. I really want to know more. This is really interesting now that I kind of think about it. With wrapping this up, I generally think that Dino Charge had the weakest, the worst ending in all Power Rangers history because it was just lazy writing. It was, oh shit, what do we do? There was nothing there. And I hate insulting the writers. I really do. I just feel like there could have been something a lot better. I'm not blaming the writers on everything because, again, someone has to sign off on it. So I just kind of think that a lot more thought would have been in there rather than, yes, this is really cool, when technically it wasn't. Like, don't get me wrong, like Power Rangers writing hasn't always been the best, but at least it was consistent, at least it was decent. And now, like, obviously with Beast Morphers, Dino Fury, feel like they had some really banger writing compared to what we've had for such a long time. I generally think the ending is really, really weak. It's not the thing that I would say is the best. But yeah, I am gonna leave it there. What are your thoughts? What did you think of the Dino Charge ending? Did you like it? Did you not? And what do you think about my theory on the fact that MMPR doesn't exist and Dino Thunder doesn't exist? Let me know down below in the comments. I'm probably going to make another video on that. Let me know down below in the comments. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Check out all the other videos we've done on the channel. Hit like, favorite, and subscribe, and check out the channel memberships, and I will catch you in the next video. I want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and I wanted to shout out Kimono Cat. Your help does go a long way to support the channel, and if you want to consider helping the channel, then links to my Patreon as well as the channel members are listed below.
あらあら、チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。